Hello and welcome to the Royal Road School of Carmelite Prayer. We are focusing on Part 4 of the Way of Perfection, Prayer in General, and today's presentation will address Chapter 22, which explains what mental prayer is. Realize, daughters, that the nature of mental prayer isn't determined by whether or not the mouth is closed. If while speaking I thoroughly understand and know that I am speaking with God, and I have greater awareness of this than I do of the words, mental and vocal prayer are joined. If, however, others tell you that you are speaking with God while you are reciting the Our Father, and at the same time, in fact, you are thinking of the world, well then, I have nothing to say. But if you are to be speaking, as is right, with so great a Lord, it is good that you consider whom you are speaking with, as well as who you are, at least if you want to be polite. In sum, then, may you never permit, Lord, that anyone who is about to speak to you consider it good to do so only vocally. What is this, Christians, that you say mental prayer isn't necessary? You don't know what mental prayer is, or how vocal prayer should be recited, or even what contemplation is. For if you did, you wouldn't condemn on the one hand what on the other you praise. It is harmful to walk on this road with fear. It's very important for you to know that you are on the right road. When we begin to pray, it's important to consider whom we are going to speak with and who we are, so as to know how to speak with Him. And if you do this, you will spend a lot of time in mental prayer. The angels who assist Him know well the attitude of their King, for He delights more in the unpolished manners of a humble shepherd than He does in the talk of a very wise and learned man, if he doesn't walk in humility. To come near Him, then, we should strive to be aware of His purity and of who He is. Here below, people in paying honor don't take into account the persons themselves, but only their wealth. Oh, miserable world, where men pay attention not to what they have within, but to what their tenant farmers and vassals have. For without subordinates, no honor is paid them. This is a good pastime. Notice how blindly those in the world spend their time. Oh God, help me. Help me to know how to explain clearly a number of many things we can consider in order to have some knowledge of who this Lord and good of ours is. Yes, bring yourselves to consider and understand whom you are speaking with, or as you approach, with whom you are about to speak. In 1,000 lives, we would never completely understand the way in which this Lord deserves that we speak with Him. For the angels tremble before Him. He commands all. He can do all. For Him, to will is to do. It is only right, daughters. that we try to delight in these grandeurs our spouse possesses, and that we understand whom we are wedded to and what kind of life we must live. Here below, before getting married, a person knows the other party, who he is and what he possesses. They don't try to make those who are betrothed renounce such thoughts. So tell me, why then should they try to prevent us from thinking about who this man is, who his father is, what country he is going to bring me to, what good things he promises to give me, what his status is, how I can make him happy, and in what ways I can please him, and by studying, how I can conform my way of life to his. Now, if a woman is to be happily married, she must, according to the advice she receives, strive for this conformity, even though her husband is a man of lowly estate. Well, my spouse, must they in everything pay less attention to you than to men? If paying more attention to you doesn't seem right to them, let them at least leave your brides, those with whom you live, alone. Indeed, their life is a good one, so leave us alone. If a spouse, say, is so jealous that he doesn't want his bride to talk to anyone, it would be a fine thing then if she did not think about how she might please him in this matter, the reason she has for putting up with this jealousy and for wanting to avoid speaking with another, since in him, her husband, she has all she could want. Anyway, this is mental prayer, my daughters, to understand these truths. If you should want to grow in understanding these things and pray vocally, well and good. You should not be thinking of other things while speaking with God, for doing so amounts to not knowing what mental prayer is. I believe the matter has been explained. May it please the Lord that we know how to put it into practice. Amen.